Hey viewers, QuirkDude76 here. So, we're back again with the Transformers review series, as we're going to take a look at a film that is wildly controversial, but is a film that kind of holds a special place in my heart, since this movie is basically 4 to 3 months before I was born. Well, I am older than this film. Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. This movie came out in 2009 and is the sequel to 2007's Transformers. It's once again directed by Michael Bay and stars Shia LaBeouf as Sam Witwicky. He is now at a point where he wants nothing to do with the Autobots. He wants to live a normal life, he has Michaela, and he just wants to go to college. However, he is brought back into this war when Megatron gets revived and the appearance of a new Cybertronian that it was the Fallen, or in this case, one of the original 13 Primes. And this revolves around Optimus Prime's death and causing Sam and the gang to go to Egypt. A lot of people seem to genuinely hate this film because it is, well, not going to sugarcoat it, but a lot of people point at this movie as one of Michael Bay's worst movies and called Michael Bay very racist. So I want to really talk about it because this is a movie that I know is going to get a lot of hate, and I know people really hate this film. But me, I hate to say it, but I kind of like it. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't think this movie's great, but I don't understand the hate it gets. Okay, I do, but I want to talk about that later. But I do want to say that I still love Michael Bay's original trilogy of Transformers movies. I think they're bad, but not bad to a level where it's Bollywood bad. I mean, this movie's very good. I mean, no, the trilogy is good. And the second movie seems to be the one people seem to bash a lot about. Now, I don't find issue with it because of the fact that, when you really learn more about the movie's development, then you can understand why it became the movie it is. You gotta remember, this movie came out during the time of the writers' strike. Because of that, a lot was cut out of the film, and because of that, a lot happened with script and characters, and it led to a whole issue that other people have done it more better than I have. Now, I do want to talk about the characters in this film, because we still have some of the characters from the first movie, but now we're mainly focusing on Sam. He's once again played by Shia LaBeouf, and I know a lot of people really didn't like his performance here, but I like it. I think his performance was actually really funny. If you ask me, I think he's one of the better parts of this movie. Sure, he gets very annoying and he plays that smart-ass attitude, but that smart-ass attitude worked to a T, in my opinion. I think it was funny. I especially love scenes when he tries to be a smartass and yet gets his ass handed to. I mean, he makes these stupid quips, but it's not that bad. I did hear that Shia LaBeouf did not like his role or did not like his performance in this movie, considering that he also just got done doing Kingdom of the Crystal Skull with Harrison Ford. But, I still think he still does a great job in this movie. Now, what about Megan Fox? Well, since this would be the last time she would be in a Transformers movie, I mean, she's good, but, yet again, she's mainly there for sex appeal. So basically, yeah, that's pretty much all that pretty much revolves around her character, besides being Sam's love interest. She does do stuff, but not to an extent like what Sam does. We get a new character in the mix, Leo Spitz, and I know a lot of people really don't like this character, but I like him. I don't care what people says. I think this guy's funny. Now, you could tend to see that I like most of Michael Bay's humor, and I know a lot of people really don't like his humor, but I like his humor. I think his humor is kind of funny, especially scenes where, because for Leo is legitimately the real person in this movie. Think about it. You're not some guy that meets robots. What's the first thing you see in Leo's POV? He finds out a girl that he likes is a robot. He almost gets killed not once, but twice. He has 2 panic attacks and is getting blasted at by Devastator and Starscream. If you ask me, I think Leo had every right to freak out. And I don't understand why many people do not like that. What would you do in that situation? Idiots. Okay, my bad. Now, aside from other characters like Lennox and Seymour Simmons coming back, what about the new characters, the Autobots? Well, for the Autobots, we get a few Autobots. You get Sideswipe, who is a fan favorite in the series, which I agree 100%. I think he has one of the most badass designs in all of Bayformers. We got RC, Elita, and Chromia, which, you know what? I'm not going to talk about those 3. Those 3 are just terrible. Those are terrible designs. You know what? I think I'm starting to appreciate the Rise of the Beast design, which we'll get there. Then we have Jolt, who, if you don't remember who Jolt is, that's okay. A lot of people don't remember who this character is either. And I'm just going to leave it there. I do know that we have these 2 other characters, but I'm going to save that I'm going to save that for later because, I got a lot of things to say about those 2. And then to an extent, we have Jetfire, and, Jetfire's cool. I just wished he was more of his G1 counterpart rather than whatever the fuck he was being portrayed as. Now, for the Decepticons, we really only get Megatron and Starscream in this movie, but we also get Grindor, who is basically Blackout revived. We get the Constructicons, which, the Constructicons are cool. And we also get the Fallen, and the Fallen's cool. He has a sick design. I don't get why many people really don't like these Transformers designs. These designs are amazing. Like, the Fallen's design just looks so sick. Though I do prefer the Transformers 1 design, which we will get there, people. Now, what are some other things I like? Well, the CGI, of course. In fact, the CGI here, I think, is up to the max. There is a video out there where they talk about how the CGI in Transformers Revenge of the Fallen looks so real. And rewatching the film, especially on Blu-ray, holy shit, are they right? This movie looks so real. The CGI made it look so real, ahead of its time. And you gotta remember, this was before fucking Avatar came out and improved CGI. Here, I think it actually surpassed Avatar. Now that's just an opinion I'm pretty sure nobody would ever want to hear, but I personally believe that the Transformers kind of succeeded in CGI. Because where Avatar, when rewatching it, sure they remastered it, but for Michael Bay's Transformers, Transformers Revenge of the Fallen already looks so real, and even today it doesn't even look outdated. So good props. I'm applauding. I applaud to ILM for its fantastic work. We also get Steve Jablonsky back to do the score, and this score is up the notch. I love how techno and how rock, techno rock it is. It has a lot of beats from Linkin Park's New Divide, which was a song made for Revenge of the Fallen, which I thought was actually really cool. And New Divide is actually used more than once in the film. It's sort of like main theme. And I like that. I like how a song is able to inspire Steve Jablonsky to make a score out of it. It's kind of like how Yuki Hayashi does it for My Hero Academia. But I'm getting off topic. So we pretty much have that. I'm pretty much naming all my... Oh, one thing I also like. The action. The action in this movie is actually really good. I know a lot of people have complained saying that it's hard to see the robots fight from the human's perspective, but you actually get good widescreen shots of the Transformers fighting. One of the biggest highlights is the forest fight, which that alone pushed it to its limits. The forest fight is one of my favorite fights in Transformers history. You really get to see Optimus get his ass handed to, and spoiler alert, dies. Well, I mean, this movie's almost been out for 20 years, so who cares? But, I mean, it's Optimus fighting. And I know a lot of people have stated this is the part where Optimus Prime goes to psycho mode, but I'm going to save that until we get to Dark of the Moon. Until we get to Dark of the Moon, I will be able to explain why I think Optimus Prime is not a psycho and all you guys are wrong. So, yeah. But then we have Bumblebee versus Rampage, which I think is a highlight that I think people really miss. Like, that scene alone kind of pushed the film to go into a little bit of an R-rated. There are points where this movie does get to go to a little bit to a R-rated, but like an R-rated Transformers movie, I would sit down and watch, especially if it was adapting from the Energon comics. Dude, that alone is perfect. Paramount, don't do a Prime animated show, which I would like it to be on Amazon Prime, but do a movie of this. Do a movie to make it R-rated. Do a Transformers R-rated movie. Do that and you probably get Oscars. I'm just saying. But yeah, I think it's about time that we talk about the major elephant in the room. Skids and Mudflap. Oh boy. Okay. So, I want to be fully honest here, because this is something that I believe that is still a topic that's still talked about today in the Transformers community. But I think I think this is a subject that I think we should probably move on, but not to an extent. So, this is something very personal to me because, you know, I grew up watching these movies, and as growing up, I did not understand the controversy. It wasn't until as I got older where I realized, I think I like this movie way too much. Now, I'm not going to say this movie's bad, but I do want to talk about the twins because this is a topic that a lot of people have been talking about when the movie came out. I don't find the twins racist. And it's kind of a shock to say that, but sit down and let me talk about it. So we all know Theory Miss, right? Fantastic YouTuber. I think that he is one of the best Transformers YouTubers out there. Like, go subscribe to his channel. But he made a video about the twins. And he stated himself that he did not find them racist as a African American and white individual. But I'm not going to say that I agree with him. But I want to explain to myself, do I find them racist? Well, no, I don't find them racist. But you might ask yourself, why? Skids has a gold tooth. Their designs look horrendous, and they just seem to be racial stereotypes. Well, if you're intelligent enough, you would actually understand when you watch the bonus features to Revenge of the Fallen. When you watch Revenge of the Fallen's bonus features, you can, well, when you hear it from others like the writers Roberto Orci and Alex Kurtzman. No, wait, shit, fuck. But if you heard it from the writers, and if you hear it from Reno Wilson and Tom Kenny, the voice actors of Skids and Mudflap, they have stated in interviews where these two characters were meant to be wannabe rappers as they took knowledge from the internet, akin to, let's say, Vanilla Ice. So basically, putting that in my mind, and now realizing that these weren't supposed to be stereotypes, these guys were supposed to be wannabe rappers, I'm letting it slide because I believe that Reno, Tom, and the writers, they were intending to make these two wannabe rappers. Now, who do I say is at fault here? Because a lot of people are pointing it towards Michael Bay. And as much as I am a fan of Michael Bay, I hate to admit it, but I believe Michael Bay is at fault here. To an extent. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't think he's fully racist. He has done a lot of movies. But I don't think he's racist. But I think he kind of intended it to have these two B stereotypes. But considering that everything that I've heard, or from what other people have heard, and from what we've heard from interviews from the writers to Reno and Tom, it is kind of, to an extent, it is kind of, Michael Bay's fault. But I don't think it's his fault to the extent, because I think that Michael intended to just have these two be wannabe rappers, but he made it look like these guys were stereotypes in the film rather than the wannabe rappers. So in my opinion, I don't think these guys are racist, but I do see at fault with their director, but not the writers or the actors. I got that out of my head. So, what are some things that I actually really don't like about this film? To be honest, it's kind of messy. The plot is a little messy because so many things are happening and it's kind of confusing. Now, this isn't Transformers: The Last Knight, which we'll talk about that movie when we get there, but the movie kind of has a lot of issues, specifically with the second half, because the first thing that happens is that Decepticons are coming down, the Fallen reveals that there are aliens among the humans, the Autobots are no longer allowed to participate or help the humans with that douchebag Theodore Galloway, which, you know what, I'm surprised this dude lived in the film. I wished for his comeuppance. But Optimus is dead, and Sam and his friends are going to Egypt to find the Matrix of Leadership. So much is happening, it kind of loses its plot midway in the film. I'm pretty sure that's what a lot of people would say too. Now, I enjoyed the third act, but even the third act itself felt a little numb and a little stale. Like, the Operation Firestorm is a good final battle. Like, you really get to see all these characters do one thing and one thing or the other. But, I don't know, it just kind of feels a little weak. It goes without saying that Michael Bay also stated that this wasn't his best, movie, which is why he wanted to improve more. So, I mean, it's still Michael Bay, explosion this, explosion that. I mean, he's really good at special effects, which I think I might have stated this before in my Transformers 2007 review, but I would love the guy to do a military movie. I think he's kind of made for a military movie. Well, he made Pearl Harbor, but you know what? I'm going to pretend Pearl Harbor doesn't exist. So, yeah. I honestly really don't have that much to say about Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. Now, I know this movie is hated. I know a lot of people hate this movie, and I know a lot of people don't like this movie. But I'm someone to think this movie is good. I still like the characters, and I still love the Transformers. The action is still really great. The score is really tight. I think the comedic scenes actually work. The writing is decent to a T. I don't find the twins racist. I find the Autobots, Decepticons, all this shit's, it's still good. But it's second half and how it loses the plot and the twins too, to a T, like in general. It kind of pushes it back to a point where I'm going to have to say this movie is like a good 6 out of 10. And I think this movie is kind of overhated, though it kind of deserves it, but not to a point where I really hate this movie. So yeah, that's pretty much my review on Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. Now, what's next in the review series? Well, we're going to take a look at a film that is, to me, my favorite out of the Bayformers, and one that I hold very dearly since this was the first Transformers movie I ever watched. So, stay tuned as we're going to watch Transformers Dark of the Moon. Or, well, I'm going to review it. So stay tuned for that, viewers. This is QuirkDude76, signing off.